Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. And it's Good News Day. We're going to be talking about all the positive things we've been able to find since last week. Because yesterday was a doozy. So let's get some hope back in humanity and save those animals. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look up our stories right before we start the show. We just got coffee in our veins. We're learning to read and speak live on stream. So let's turn that segue wheel. But first, get into the headlines. Today on Before Good News Day. That's what day it is. Good News Day.
Happy Good News Day.
Nearly 30,000 animals were rescued in a month-long anti-trafficking operation led by Interpol.
Right, and it's news. It's good news, and it's Good News Tuesday. Oh, Good News Day. Sorry. We're going to talk about why we need a new Nobel Prize category involving climate and saving the planet, and a related subject, CNN names its Person of the Year. Yeah, Hero of the Year. Let's say that. Hero of the Year.
I pressed the wrong button. I went down to save lives. Hero shopkeeper who tackled Bondi Beach gunman thought he was going to die, and he's been given another chance at life.
We're going to go to China.
Sorry, I'm clicking all the wrong buttons. Okay.
All right, are we there yet? China! We're going to go to China for a couple of stories. China desalination tech makes fresh water cheaper than tap water. That's crazy. Plus hydrogen. And China's EV battery giants are wading into the shipbuilding industry. And one more article about music. We're going to talk about Britain's grassroots music venues being saved.
In my culture news, happy birthday, Jane Austen! French fans share a Pride and Prejudice fantasy for the 250th anniversary. That's a long time.
Oh, and it's National Chocolate Covered Anything Day, so cover yourself in chocolate. Cover yourself in chocolate. Make sure you wear little goggles so you don't get it in your eyes. And watch our show. It's December 16th, 2025 on Before Coffee. Like, seriously, let's make fun of children. Fuck you, idiots.
There's so many things you can cover in chocolate.
Yeah, you can cover Barney and...
You can cover almonds, raisins, peanuts, donuts, all sorts of bread products.
Other chocolate, you can cover chocolate in chocolate.
Chocolate brownies.
Ice cream.
Chocolate ice cream covered in chocolate icing.
No. Chocolate ice cream is awful.
Too much chocolate.
Nah. Yeah, chocolate ice cream. To me, chocolate ice cream is nowhere as good as having vanilla ice cream and putting good chocolate syrup over it. Not that cheap shit.
Really?
Some good chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
Oh, that's much better.
I feel like they put too much chocolate in the chocolate ice cream.
I feel like that's the way most good places make their chocolate shakes. They don't make chocolate shakes with chocolate frickin' ice cream. They put vanilla in there and add chocolate syrup. It's so much better. It's ridiculously so much better.
A nice vanilla bean too.
Yeah, vanilla
bean makes everything taste better. It's a magic plant, for sure.
Yeah. And everybody says vanilla when they talk about plain, but it's not actually plain. Vanilla is in a nut that grows in the jungle.
It's a very expensive thing to flour too. You have to do it by hand.
It's not that thing. And that's the number one ice cream, by the way. Everybody likes vanilla more than any other flavor, so go figure. So,
let's roll our first segue for my first story, since you have all the good news today.
Yeah, I'm skipping one of the stupid days here. It's just dumb. I'll mention it, but it's just a stupid idea. Barney and Barbie Backlash Day.
Alliteration headline is our first segue.
Alliteration. Oops, I almost writing with a straw. That's not a writing implement.
This first good news is coming from Interpol, where they've saved 30,000 animals on AP News out of Cape Town, South Africa. Nearly 30,000 live animals were rescued in a month-long global operation against wildlife trafficking that resulted in a record number of seizures, the international police body Interpol said Thursday, of course, being, what was that, the 11th? Yes, the 11th of December. Operation Thunder 2025 was from September 15th to October 15th and involved law enforcement agencies and wildlife and forestry authorities from 134 different countries and resulted in more than 4,600 separate seizures that included tens of thousands of protected animals and plants and tens of thousands of cubic meters of illegally logged timber. The animals rescued included 6,160 birds, 2,040 tortoises and turtles, 1,150 reptiles, 208 primates, and 10 big cats, including endangered tigers, Interpol said. Wildlife tracking for animals' body parts or for their sale as exotic pets is the most prominent danger to many endangered species and has become a major transnational organized crime. Interpol said wildlife crime was worth at least $20 billion a year, and likely more because of difficulties in tracking it. There might be people selling rhinos for all we know. The global operation identified more than 1,000 suspects involved in the illegal wildlife trade, Interpol said. Operation Thunder once again exposed the sophistication and scale of the criminal networks driving the illegal wildlife and forestry trade, Interpol Secretary General Valdessia Urquiza said in a statement. Animal body parts were also seized, including 1,900 pieces of elephant ivory, more than 200 tons of marine species, and 7 tons of pangolin scales and meat. Pangolins are small nocturnal animals similar to a, what are they called in Texas? They get run over all over Texas. I can't remember what they're called now. But they're also sometimes called scaly anteaters because they have long snouts like an anteater, but they're covered in scales like this animal I can't think of right now. They're often ranked as the most trafficked animal in the world because of their scales, which are used in traditional medicines, and their meat, which is considered a delicacy. And this is why traditional medicine pisses me off, because not only because it's not really based on any science, but it causes people to kill animals and sell it for money, right? I don't think the pangolin scale is going to solve your balding, okay? Interpol said the month-long anti-trafficking operation, which happens every year, led to seizures across the world, including Europe and North America. More than 40 shipments of insects and 80 shipments of butterflies originating in Germany, Slovakia, and the UK were intercepted at a U.S. mail center, Interpol said. Another shipment intercepted at a North American mail center contained more than 1,300 primate body parts, including bones and skulls. Oh God, these poor animals. Slaughtered and butchered and their bones sold on the black market. And they go after animals and that animal can't even necessarily help them, so they're just making an animal go extinct. Yeah, exactly. They're just causing harm to the planet. But there is your news story about not the animals, but about saving animals and getting their parts back from. Yeah, there's some terrible pictures of just like tiger heads, mounted tiger heads, so you can put it on your wall, I guess. Killing leopards and cheetahs and tigers just so you can put it on your wall. Terrible, absolutely terrible.
All right. Alliteration headline, I suppose. I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Headline should read: Scumbag smugglers sent some skeleton samples.
Indeed, scumbags.
Surreptitiously, I could have added that too, right? But that's kind of goes without saying.
But we saved
we don't want to overly. We don't want to overly alliterate in goodness. Okay, well, you want one story?
That's my only story. Let's roll the wheel. It's a short one, but
I'm hoarding all the stories today. I'll try to go fast.
I'm not sure why my frames are dropping so bad. Let me try closing some stuff.
Good news, good news, good news. That doesn't involve stinking people trying to smuggle animals, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't. We'll see. Let's have a spin.
It's a limerick.
Limerick! Oh boy. Well, 2 stories, 2 limericks. The first one's going to be quicker than the second one. Limerick. Or limerick, if you break the words up. Limerick. You have a limerick. This is from onlygoodnewsdaily.com. Is it time for a new Nobel Prize category? This is from editor OGN Daily. He wrote this. Currently, the Nobel Prize honors people in organizations for exceptional contributions in chemistry, physics, medicine, literature, peace, and economics. Some are now calling for a 7th category to be added. And a group of climate scientists are calling on the Nobel Foundation in Sweden to start recognizing outstanding achievements in climate and planetary health. When Alfred Nobel created the prizes, he wrote that they must serve greatest benefit to humankind, said Christine Kroll, CEO of tree planting search engine Ecosia, which is leading the initiative. Today, this means protecting the planet we all depend on. Nobel winners or laureates receive roughly €1 million or $1.17 million endowment, an amount that Ecosia has already pledged to cover. So you can just name the award, and this organization will even pay your little fee, guys. You just throw it out there. I mean, Nobel Prize is a prestigious award. You can put it on your mantelpiece, but hey, $1 million, who can't use that? And excuse me. The new category commend those who've made significant gains in climate innovation, regulation, advocacy, or mitigation, says Euronews. If the bid is successful, it would be the first time a Nobel Committee has added a new category since the creation of Economics Science Prize in 1968. Several advocates have already pledged their support.
A long time ago. 1968. As old as you.
Yeah, they had to decide that economics was an actual thing. Oh, economics is
something to celebrate, I guess.
They can invent categories if they want. They can actually award Best Supporting Actor if they wanted to, right? It's just it's a bunch of people sitting around in a room.
And what was the name of the new one they're adding?
Climate. They're not adding anything. This is
okay.
suggestion.
Oh, these are suggestions. Okay.
Climate activists are calling Nobel in Sweden to start recognizing outstanding achievements in climate and planetary health. They haven't given it a name because it isn't an award yet. Several advocates have already pledged their support, emphasizing the prize could incentivize more progress towards saving the planet. I'm going probably too fast for your limerick. An award for climate and planetary health would encourage people worldwide to build solutions, improve policy, and mobilize communities to take action. Climate activist Louisa Neubauer said in a statement, "It's long overdue for the Nobel tradition to finally recognize the greatest crisis of our time."
And give it to Greta.
Right. Or you can give it to the next guy I'm going to talk about. Ecosia is a tree planting search engine and describes itself as the greenest browser on Earth. Instead of taking a revenue generated by your Instead of taking the revenue generated by your searches, Ecosia translates its income into planting trees. Millions of them, in fact, almost 250 million of them. Perhaps it's time for us all to abandon our Google habit and switch to Ecosia. I think I will, because Google pisses me off.
Google sucks now.
Google is AI, and I get in arguments with it. It's like, why are you answering me with this AI I'd never asked for, and it's wrong? There's your story. I hope you got a limerick, because
I do have one right on time.
Right on, let's go.
In realms where the brave hearts arise, new categories could win the prize. For heroes unknown, in actions they've shown, like climate crusaders, so wise. Okay,
one more story.
Next
and we're going to talk about the
story.
same subject, different person. As we echo the clarion call for a new As we echo the clarion call for a new category of Nobel Prizes, we're going to talk about somebody that could possibly win one at some point. This is from cnnpressroom.blogs.cnn.com. This is straight from CNN, as they named their hero of the year, and his name is Quillen Blackwell. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It has one L, so I'm thinking Quillen. Two L's would be Quillen, right? Not Jacqueline, not Jaqueline.
Jaqueline.
Jaqueline. Okay, the guy's name is Jaqueline, we decided. Anyway, Quillen Blackwell, named 2025 CNN Hero of the Year. This is attributed to December 6th of 2025, but we're a little slow in the uptake here. So we're getting a little bit, we're a week later. Tonight, during the 19th annual CNN Heroes All-Star Tribute, which you never watched because you're watching the show and you missed it. I missed it because I don't even know how to find CNN. My funny thing about CNN is I get accused of getting...
Please find CNN. It's gone missing.
For like the last 20 years, I've been like, anytime I make a point on any message board, it's like, you just get all your news from CNN. I was like, I don't even know a show on CNN. I quit watching CNN when Larry King left. Only reason I ever watched it was Larry King was on there, and he always had great guests. He would have guests nobody else would. I would watch Larry King because he asked good questions, and he was always acted like he didn't know the answer. And that's what a good interviewer does. You don't interrupt the person who's asking their question, and you pretend you don't fucking know what they're going to say, even though you know what they're going to say, right? You listen. It's called listening. Anyway, since Larry King retired, I have not watched this show, so I am not a flack for CNN in any way. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Anyway, hosted by CNN anchors Anderson Cooper and Laura Coates, the global broadcast honored everyday people who are making extraordinary contributions to help improve the lives of others. Blackwell's organization, Southside Blooms, turns vacant lots in Chicago's South Side into eco-friendly flower farms, employing local young people to grow, harvest, arrange, and sell flowers at his group's non-profit flower shop. Each of the top 5 CNN hero will be awarded $10,000, and Blackwell, as the CNN Hero of the Year, will receive $100,000. This is 1/10 of a Nobel Prize, a little bit less, which he might win. I'd give it to him.
Maybe, yeah.
Accepting the award, Blackwell said there's a lot of amazing things going on in the inner cities that is going to surprise a lot of people. I'm really thankful for all the young men and women who have been part of our work because they're stars. In its 4th year of collaboration with CNN Heroes, the Elevate Prize Foundation, global nonprofit on a mission to make good famous, committed to bringing visibility to the work of change makers and inspiring the world, is awarding $50,000 to Blackwell as CNN Hero of the Year. All 5 honorees will also receive the Elevate Prize Foundation organizational capacity building and tailored resources to maximize their impact. So they're giving them. Hopefully, these organizations are getting the money, and these people are just going, all right, start an organization, got a big fat check. Now it's time to go to Hawaii and live it up. Hopefully they're just, continuing with their work instead of just cashing in, which I really hate. Oh, I've got a lot of money. I get to tell everybody how to act now. No, that's not how it works. Just do your thing. Do your thing. Stop lecturing the rest of us. Okay, we'll do fine.
Yeah, go make an orphanage or something and shut up.
People lecture me the most about being green are the right-wingers that say, oh, what have you done about it? You don't do anything. You just talk about it. I said, well, I bought an electric lawnmower. I got solar panels on my roof. And then they don't say a fucking word, Oh, okay. So I've done something, and now you got nothing, right? In other words, you're just full of shit. You don't even give a crap. You just want to point out other people's hypocrisy instead of doing anything. When my hypocrisy doesn't exist at all. I mean, I'm definitely hypocrisy, but I'm doing my best, and I'm doing what I
have solar panels as well.
The other thing I do is I ride my bike when I don't need to take a car.
That's why I moved to the Netherlands so I could ride my bike.
Believe me, and you know this, it ain't easy riding a bike on here. There's bike paths for sure, but getting to the bike paths, you got to go.
Is the danger zone, yeah.
Yeah. 1,000 monster trucks flying by at 70 miles an hour, not giving you 1 inch. Yeah, that's what happens on the highways out here. The late Robert Redford was honored with the 3rd annual CNN Heroes Legacy Award, which he couldn't obviously accept. Recognizing his lifetime commitment to environmental stewardship, his decades of advocacy for protect the lands and his enduring influence, and generations of conservationists. Accepting the award on Redford's family's behalf, former Vice President Al Gore said, having spent so much of his life in front of the camera as an incredible actor and behind the camera as a visionary director, Bob deeply understood the mobilizing power of focusing lens and captivating story. The only problem I have with that sentence is Al Gore is doing that little, what is it called? What is it called when you borrow on somebody else's fame by calling him like Bob when everybody else calls him Robert Redford, he calls him Bob? What is that called? Virtue signaling, something like that. It's like, hey, I know him by his first name, Bob. I call him Bob. Nobody calls him Bob Redford. Have I said who's Bob Redford? Right? Okay. Anyway, back to the story. He continued, in honor of Bob and his amazing work, maybe find a way to lend our voices in global call for protecting the fate of humanity by urgently addressing the climate and environmental crisis that our leaders have sidelined for far too long. Did I mention that I call him Bob? I'm sorry. I love Al Gore.
My friends call me Bob.
Yeah, I call him Bob. It's like when people say Robert De Niro. I call him Bob.
My friends.
Or they call Bobby Dylan. I call him Bobby. Oh, good for you. Good for you to call him Bobby because you think he's your pet. I don't understand it. I gotta make sure that you guys know that I was one of his best friends because I call him Bob. I'm all hung up on this now. I love Al Gore, but that's funny. Notable guests included CNN heroes, all-star tribute, including 3-time Academy Award winner Meryl Streep, 7-time Grammy Award and Emmy Award winner John Baptiste. He's won 7 Grammys already? Holy crap. We just heard of him like 10 years ago, and now he's got 7 Grammys. Holy man. Primetime Emmy and Golden Globe nominee Catherine Hahn and a ACP Image Award winner.
And these guys are heroes too.
Primetime Emmy and Golden Globe nominee Parker Posey. Primetime Emmy, they're going over their awards. Like Primetime Emmy nominee and star of NBC's Brilliant Minds Zachary Quinto. Daytime Emmy winner Kelly Ripa. And Primetime Emmy and Golden Globe winner Adam Scott. I could have just mentioned their names and it would have taken a lot less time. But maybe most of you have.
These guys won awards and they're heroes, okay? That's all you need to know. I
could have said all those names in about 3 seconds. CNN has partnered with Pledge. The award went. Oh, you got to keep pointing out their awards that we won out there. CNN has partnered with the Pledge, the award-winning fundraising platform trusted by millions. When you keep saying award-winning, that just puts you in the Trump category of stop boosting things that don't need that extra information. Okay, award-winning. What does that even freaking mean? Trump gets awards. So again, award-winning is kind of a throwaway line they keep throwing out here in this article. Make sure you know who Meryl Streep is, right? You would never know otherwise.
Have you ever seen a film? Then you know who Meryl Streep is. The end. Okay, thank you.
The 97 Academy Award winning and 147 times nominated Meryl Streep. Why don't you say Meryl Streep? We know who she is. Okay, thank you. Anyway. Through pledges, I am really getting on sidebars here.
I feel like this article's gone off the rails and it's not about the guy we were originally talking about anymore.
CNN wants to freaking just keep putting things in there that are superfluous information. Through Pledge's seamless technologies, donors can contribute online or by QR code or via text, either to a specific hero's nonprofit or for the first time, easily supported by all honorees with a single donation at pledge.to/CNN-heroes.
Oh, so it's
in
also
case that wasn't complicated
for CNN. That's why it was so long.
You can make money to Pledge and by sending a donation to pledge.to/CNN-heroes. HEROES, in case you don't know how to spell heroes.
You probably also just Google donate to CNN Hero and you'll probably get it there. Ecosia.
Don't Google it. It'll send you an AI and say it don't exist or something. Yeah, we've stopped trusting all these mega AI crap companies that just keep feeding me bullshit I have to look up anyway because that can't be true. The Elevate Prize Foundation is matching donations to all of the 2025 top CNN. 5 heroes.
Oh, that's cool. So
Up
you
to
donate to them, and
50,000
then
per
somebody
hero.
else will give double.
Elevate prize. CNN Heroes is honored to have the commitment of brand partners, including, hey, we don't care about their sponsors. They're not paying us. That's your story. There's a whole paragraph here about how CNN and Warner Brothers are the same company now. And of course, they're in danger of being bought out by the same company that bought out CBS. They're buying Netflix and they're buying everything. And so we're just going to have crap all around.
Monopolies.
There's your story.
Monopolies. All right, we've got some messages here in chat. Sage has said, or was it? I saw it earlier. Random, but this is the only news show I like. I love y'all so much, and I appreciate the space when I can make it here. So, and then Sage had to go because it's morning for them as well, so they had to go to go to work or something. But thank you, Sage, for that comment, and also hello, Dorina. Good morning, and thank you for stopping by to get your daily elixir. And also, Chrono just got here. Good morning, Chrono. I hope you're having a good Tuesday. Here is my limerick. I have 2 limericks. The first one, because that story was so long.
Right.
In the city where concrete once sprawled, Quill in Blackwell's mission called. With flowers in tow, he made gardens grow, transforming the lots that had stalled. And then my second one, in the heart of urban decay, he brought color where weeds used to play. With each seed he'd sow, hope began to flow. CNN crowned him a hero today.
Ooh.
Decay,
that's really good.
play, and today. That's a rhyme.
Yeah. And we're easy around here at Before Coffee. Our heroes are our viewers. You're my hero.
All right,
next story. Let's spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
Let's spin that wheel for my story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting embarrassed. I'm blushing.
Why are you embarrassed?
I don't know. I guess being sincere makes me blush. Reminds me of a song.
Right on.
This next
Reminds you of a song.
Is about something everyone's probably heard about this whole week, this whole weekend. Australia had a terrible shooting in which, I think there was 2 gunmen. One of the gunmen was taken down by a shopkeeper, and that's who we're talking about today. The hero, not the murderers. This is by Dan Haygarth on The Independent. A shopkeeper who tackled one of Bondi Beach's gunmen told his cousin to tell his family he went down to save people's lives before he stepped in to act. Oh, wow, that sounds like a movie. You turn to your cousin, you go, tell people I'm here to save lives, and then you rush in and tackle a gunman. Ahmad Al-Ahmad, a father of 2 from Sydney, was seen tackling one of the gunmen before wresting his weapon away from him during an anti-Semitic terrorist attack at a Jewish Hanukkah celebration in Sydney last Sunday. We've all heard about it, and if you haven't heard about it, well, here's your news. Something terrible happened. Video footage of Mr. Ahmad intervening circulated widely on social media following the attack. He was at the beach with his cousin Jose Alcanj, who told the Sydney Morning Herald that Mr. Ahmad asked him to pass a message to his family before he acted. Mr. Alcanj said Mr. Ahmad told him, I'm going to die. Please tell my family and tell them I went down to save people's lives. I can't do an Australian accent, but I'm sure he sounds Australian. Mr. Ahmad's family previously said he was in a hospital with bullet wounds to his arm and hand, but was in good spirits. Well, that's really lucky. Most people don't die for arm and hand wounds, unless they get sepsis, of course, like President Garfield. Right. His father said his actions show that the 43-year-old's impulse to protect people, as he called him a hero of Australia. Speaking to ABC Australia through a translator, Mohammed Fateh Al-Ahmed said his friend told him, let's go have coffee at Bondi. They got there and were shocked to see armed men firing weapons at terrorists. Their lives were in danger. He noticed one of the armed men in the distance from him hiding behind the tree. My son is a hero. He served with the police and in the Central Security Forces, and he has the impulse to protect people. He's one of those good police officers, it sounds like. I know they're rare, but they exist. When he saw people lying on the ground and the blood
Texas.
everywhere, immediately his conscience and his soul compelled him to pounce on one of the terrorists to rid him of his weapon. I feel pride and honor because my son is a hero of Australia. And then there's an image of him laying in a hospital bed with his arm all cast up, and he looks in good spirits. He doesn't look green or yellow, or he looks like a normal color. Mr. Ahmed's parents told the broadcaster he had moved to Australia from Syria in 2006. Everyone knows why people left Syria. We don't have to go over that. They had only arrived in the country months ago after years of separation from their son. The Times reports that Mr. Ahmed's lawyer, Sam Issa, visited him in hospital today and gave an update on his condition. He said he'll do it again, but the pain has started to take a toll on him. He's not well at all. He's riddled with bullets. Our hero is struggling at the moment. His mother, Malakeh Hassan Al Ahmed, said she's proud of her do-gooder son. She told ABC Australia through a translator, "I'm proud that my son was helping people. He saved lives, souls. God would not harm him because he was a do-gooder. He saw they were dying and people were losing their lives. And when the guy ran out of ammo, he took it from him. But he was hit. We pray that God saves him." New South Wales police have confirmed that 16 people did die, sadly. Australian police said a 50-year-old man and his 24-year-old son named in the local media, which we will not be naming them because they're fucking murderers. One of them was taken down by our hero. There are further 40 people being treated for this terrible tragedy, and it has been confirmed one of the worst mass shootings in Australia and designed to target Jewish people. Chris Minns, the Premier of New South Wales, told a press conference in Sydney that the attack represents some of the worst fears about terrorism, but that Mr. Ahmed was a genuine hero and described footage of the incident as unbelievable. A man walked up to a gunman, but fired on the community and single-handedly disarming him, putting his own life at risk to save the lives of countless other people. There was also news, at least in a headline, which I can't find the actual news here, but according to this headline, GoFundMe has raised $1.5 million to contribute to the hero for saving lives to his GoFundMe. Yeah. So that is also some good news. He'll be able to pay. I'm sure Australian medical bills aren't that expensive, but he'll be able to pay for some, hopefully get movement back in his hand, get some blood transfusions or something.
Expensive. He probably won't be able to work a normal job the rest of his life, and he deserves all that money and more, because what's a life worth?
He should never work again. I agree. Just you know what? I'm just gonna.
He should be made president of the country. He should be head of the police force. He should be the head of the military.
Yeah.
We don't need cowards in this world. We need people that know how to fucking do shit. And this guy knew.
So anyway, congratulations to Ahmed El Ahmed for being the hero we need in this world that is sadly full of so much tragedy. Give me your song.
Okay. We was going to go with David Bowie's Heroes, but I found actually a better song with better lyrics for this, and it's Holding Out for a Hero.
Of course, I was thinking the same song.
The Mad Max universe, which was written by John Steinman and John Jansen. John Steinman wrote a lot of songs for Meatloaf. He wrote songs for Bonnie Tyler. Also, like Total Eclipse of the Heart, he wrote that one. He also wrote this one. Jim Steinman, and the verse goes, verse 1, "Where have all the good men gone? And where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? Isn't there a white knight among the fiery steed?" White knight is just purely symbolic. It's not a color.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's your story. I mean, that's your little glimpse of, the answer to that is right there, that one guy. He saw something happen, he took action.
Ahmed, right? There's our white knight in shining armor.
It's a lot easier to shoot somebody with a rifle from 500 yards away than it is to shoot them up close. Why is that? Your aiming point. You're sitting there aiming at somebody that doesn't even know they're getting shot. That's what a rifle's are.
Yeah.
And when you're shooting a rifle and you're taking careful aim, somebody attacking you is going to fucking have the advantage, right? You just wait till that guy swings his rifle in another direction and you freaking dive at his ankles and grab him by the nuts. That's what you do, and grab his gun, for God's sake.
Yep.
Grab him by the nuts and don't hold on.
Well, and the lucky thing is that Ahmed was a police officer, so he probably knows how to handle a gun. Yeah. And if you know how to handle a gun, you know how to put on the safety and, you know, make sure they don't shoot the gun.
Tell the Uvalde police that, because they just sat there and wet their pants and let everybody get shot.
I think it's very important,
that's your good
even
news
if you don't want to shoot a gun, to know how they work so that you can turn them off. I think that's very important to know how to turn off a gun.
Right. And this is the first mass shooting in Australia since 40 years ago or something like that. When they banned assault weapons. But again, if it's illegal and you're a criminal, you probably don't care about it being illegal. So.
And well, to be fair, at least this is what I've heard. All these weapons were legally owned, registered firearms.
So they weren't. So they were just long rifles. They weren't.
But yet again, it was
guns,
two people, right? So if you have 2 people with registered guns, that's still a lot of guns. So the problem here is that 2 people teamed up to shoot people. If it was one person,
we think there was 2.
You would have less guns because you can only register so many guns.
Are we sure it's only 2?
That's what they said in the post. It was a son and a father. So. Of
course, if they had automatic weapons, they would have sprayed rounds all over the place and killed a lot more people.
Instead of what was it, 16 people dying, it would have been 40. All 40 of the people who are in hospital would be dead right now. So.
There's no practical application for a gun that shoots more than one round on one squeeze of the trigger, because the second round, the first one might be well aimed, the second one's going somewhere. You have no control over it because your gun's doing this all the time, right? So you can't hold it still. You're never going to have a well-aimed round. I don't care what they do in the movies. That's just make-believe.
That's not what the story is about. Right. The story is about a hero. So let's roll a segue wheel and move on from this topic.
Right,
I don't want to get too depressing about shootings.
Yeah, it's not depressing. Let's not depress people. Sorry, everybody.
Let's associate your stories with something. I'll figure it out. Give me your first good story.
I got 3 of them.
I think you have 3 of them.
But they're short.
3 stories.
Yeah. Associate. The first 2 are actually pretty short, and they're both from China, and they're kind of related. And they're good news. And again, take it with a grain of salt. This is China reporting about China. But again, why would they, it's information. You can dispute it or not dispute it. We're not claiming to have the official authority about everything in the world, like some websites say, like Snopes and fact check, which a lot of times they still get stuff wrong. Well, 1% of it was right, so it was, partially true. What? That's nonsense. Anyway, they always do that splitting hairs nonsense. It's just telling you that's completely false. This is from scmp.com, which I believe is South China something. China desalination tech makes fresh water cheaper than tap water. That's injured. And plus hydrogen. China has launched a revolutionary facility in the eastern province of Shandong that produces fresh water from seawater for just 2 yuan, which is 28 cents, per cubic meter, generating green hydrogen as a byproduct and a breakthrough that could redefine global water and energy systems. A small but world-first installation in the city of Rizhao is powered entirely by seawater and low-grade waste heat from the nearby steel and petrochemical plants, which are probably polluting everybody. But anyway, official provincial news outlet Dazhong reported on Saturday the facility has operated continuously for over 3 weeks, producing high-purity hydrogen without the need for costly desalination or precious freshwater resources, the report said. For every 800 tons of seawater processed annually, that's a lot of seawater, the system delivers 450 cubic meters or 877 gallons of ultra pure fresh water, ideal for industrial cooling and residential use. It also delivers 192,000 standard cubic meters of green hydrogen and 350 tons of mineral-rich brine for marine chemical production, achieving a 1-in, 3-out circular economy. The hydrogen, produced at an energy cost of 4.2 kilowatts of electricity per cubic meter, is enough to power 100 buses for 3,800 kilometers or 2,300 miles every year, according to the report. There's your quick and easy to digest story about, hey, We can turn water and energy for pennies on the dollar. And why aren't we doing it already? Hopefully this is a true story from China. Let's have us
Hopefully it's a true story. Wait, you don't know.
Well, again, we hope this technology is developed and it ain't just pie in the sky shit. Again, that's always the thing. That's always the qualifier for anything. Are these reproducible on a massive scale? That's what you always want to know. Go ahead.
Well, I guess I associate this with, how Japan made its first osmosis energy creating plant, right? It was using, that's using salt, just like desalination. That's what it reminds me of anyways. Which is a really cool way to not only get fresh water, right? They're desalinating water, but also using the energy from the electrons and the protons to create more clean energy. And maybe one day we'll all have those plants instead of nuclear power plants instead. But you have to have water, right? You have to have seawater. It's a great plant.
Maybe we'll just
islands, I think.
The dream is to get rid of the power grid and just have your own power plant, your own house. Because I don't know. That's true. They do have that in. Well, I mean, this is just fantasy, right? But in the Fallout series, which is based off of like 2050s America or something, or 2070, something like that, a long time from now, which is only 25 years. Yeah. They do have power plants in their houses. They have, but they have, I think, fission engines or fusion engines. Fusion engines, which we haven't invented fusion yet. We only know how to separate the atom. We don't know how to put them together yet. What would these utilities do if people just stopped paying their bills? They're gonna cut everybody off? I think that's probably why we'll never not have a power grid, because they want to make money. Well, they can't make you be on the power grid. There's no law that says, at least not yet. I think there are. It makes you say, no. There's no law that says I got to be in a power grid. There's plenty of people off the grid in this country, in the world, really. Why would you admit, oh yeah, you got to be on the power grid. I live out in the middle of Siberia. There's no power lines. What am I supposed to do? Dig my own holes? Well, I guess it depends what state you're on. I think there are states that have anti-homesteading laws, like you must be registered with the water company in order to own land or some shit. I swear there are places like that. If you're in a city, yeah. If you're in I'm just telling you, there's no way they can enforce that. They can do it. They can try all they want. There's no way you're going to make me hook up to the power grid. As a matter of fact, in the United States, I don't know if this is everywhere, if you generate more power than you use, you sell it back to the utility, and that's the law. So they have to actually pay you for the power they generate if you're using more. If you're using less than you actually consume, and you're sending it back to them. They actually get that power sent back to them. So anyway, that's one story of three. Let's do another one. China's SCMP.com. China's EV battery giants wade into the shipbuilding. We talked about electric shipping, solar powered. Just any way you can power it without petroleum, we're going to try it. China's leading battery makers for electric cars, contemporary AmpereX technology, CATL, and Goshen High-Tech are adding momentum to the country's efforts to build new energy vessels. With their latest products supplied to large ocean carriers amid an accelerated decarbonization drive. Chinese-made pure electric-powered container vessels are also set to extend Beijing's lead over global rivals in shipbuilding, according to the industry officials and analysts. CATL, the world's largest electric vehicle battery producer, announced recently that its self-developed pure electric vessel would sail the ocean in 3 years, reinforcing the company's ambitions to building itself into a global new energy powerhouse. Goshen, backed by the Volkswagen Group, said earlier this month that its battery packs had proved strong enough to power a ship with a loading capacity of 132 standard containers. The vessel, known as Pufferfish Blue 1, or 01, I guess we're doing digital naming of ships now, developed by China's Wuhu shipyard. Woohoo! Let's have a woohoo, Homer. China's Woohoo! Wait, give me a sec. I wasn't ready. China's there you go, shipyard, and China's You gotta do it. All right. China's woo. You gotta do woo. Anyway, bad timing. China's Wuhu shipyard in Sandiashui new energy technology had been certified by the China Classification Society, a professional body for ship classification, it added. Okay, that's cool. The investment and efforts to build pure electric container vessels show China's increasing influence in the global shipbuilding industry, said Zhang Hao, assistant general manager at the Shanghai Jump International Shipping, or SGIS in English. It remains to be seen whether electric vehicles will be widely accepted by global container liners. KETL, which holds 38% share of the global EV battery market this year, began developing the shipbuilding applications in 2017 and has since supplied batteries to 900 vessels, all operating in rivers. Rivers don't have the long voyages, but they're working in rivers. So anytime we can save the environment a little bit at a time, let's have us an association before I get the number 3 story in my marathon here. The marathon.
I'm not sure what I associate this with. I guess now I'm just thinking about the woohoo. So,
woohoo!
Good job, China.
There you go.
Woohoo for you. Homer is happy. There's episodes with The Simpsons in China, aren't there? Isn't there a Chinese character?
I'm sure there is. Probably...
The doctor. The quack doctor is Asian, I guess. I don't know if he's Chinese.
No, Dr. Nick Riviera. I believe he's. Hello, everybody. Hello, Dr. Nick. Yeah, I know him. Yeah. Anyway, let's do another story.
I'm thinking of a different character. I'm not sure what character I'm thinking of. I know there's a Asian character in The Simpsons.
The Indian character, Hapu.
Yeah. An East Asian character.
The one they got dragged by for having. Oh my God, that's Hank Azaria. He's not an Indian. I'm like, who gives a fuck? He's doing a voice. Anyway,
he's a voice actor.
Jesus, we get offended by everything now. It's like, I guess stop it, man. Everything can't be offensive. Everything can't be. Just laugh. Here's what it's called: humor. Humor. Get it? Positive.news has a story. I found my people. Frank Turner on saving Britain's grassroots music venues. This is from Tom Pattinson, not the vampire. 6 to 8 minutes. Frank Turner found belonging as a teenager in grassroots music venues. Now, one of Britain's most prolific live musicians, he used his platform to champion the small stages that made him. It's a warm summer evening, and I'm standing in an upstairs room of North London pub, one of a couple of dozen people watching Frank Turner perform. Only weeks earlier, I'd seen him at Phil London's Alexandra Palace with 10,000 fans, yet here he is, delivering the same trademark energy in a tiny room, proving why small venues still matter to him. I think I would only go to small. In my old age, I think I'm only going to small venue concerts from now on, because to me, it's like I just spent $75 and I'm in row 75 and section 42, and I gotta look at a big screen even to see what's going on. That just seems like a ripoff to me. I can stay at home and watch a concert. So small venues are the only thing I'm going to do in my old age. I mean, if you're young, you want that big crowd experience, I recommend it too, but I've had my fill of those. It's just parking's a nightmare, getting out of there's a nightmare, security's are assholes, all the things that contribute to them making a buck off your terror. Turner has long been one of the most outspoken defenders of the UK grassroots music scene. He remembers how as a teenager he fell out of place. I didn't like Britpop, and I didn't like football, he recalls. I liked bands like Black Flag and Sonic Youth. Shout out to Black Flag and Sonic Youth. And didn't really know anything else who did. I didn't know anybody else who did. Then I figured out there were venues where I grew up, the Joiners Arms in Southampton and the Railway Inn in Winchester. You see these bands, but more than that, you can meet other people who shared my outlook. I made friends and I felt less alienated. I found my people. Those early experiences shaped him. In London, he sought out tiny rooms where bands played shoulder to shoulder with their fans. It was a forum to connect with others. I watched a lot of bands there and learned how to put on a show, not just the practicalities of sound checking, but how to talk to a crowd, how to figure out what they wanted to say. Sound checking a smaller room is sure as hell don't take as long as it does in a stadium. I guarantee it. You've only got so much acoustics and you're going to have to deal with it. Cooner has played more than 3,000 shows, building a rock community known for its compassion. has hit Be More Kind has become a rallying cry. His hit, Be More Kind, has become a rallying cry with gig goers fostering a sense of unity that makes his shows feel like a rare kind of rock and roll family. But the venues Turner once relied on are increasingly under threat. Business rates, rising rents, residential conversions, and the cost of living crisis have led to 125 music venue closures in 2023. This is in England. Like, how many do you even have, man? Is this in London or England? When it says this, I don't know what they mean. I think it must be London. Like, London Metropolitan, I would imagine. From Turner's perspective, the problems are structural. From my conversations with people who run venues, business rates are crushingly expensive. Just existing as a small business in a city location is insanely costly before you've even sold a ticket. The Music Venue Trust, or MVT, which campaigns for small venues, has proposed a levy on which percentage of every stadium or arena ticket goes back into the grassroots venues, much like the way Premier Football League revenue sports lower league clubs. Well, hell, yeah, do that. For now, it's voluntary. Turner took it upon himself to donate £1 from every ticket sold in his last tour, maybe £5. It was more of a symbol than a solution, but it's something, he admits. Frank Turner has played more than 3,000 shows, building a rock community known for its compassion. Without these spaces, he warns, the industry risks becoming homogenized. In a world with no independent venues, it's not that no one will play the O2, London's 2,000 capacity venue. It's just that who plays the O2 will be entirely dictated by Simon Cowell and the like. Oh boy, I want Simon Cowell picking my music. No, thank you. I don't even want to know that guy's taste in music. He's a bully, and I really don't trust his instincts. There is a place for that, sure, but it was entirely on the menu. It would be boring. For younger audiences raised on TikTok and arena spectacles, many aren't aware that £10 gig down the road can offer. He worries about the generational shifts and how young people experience live music. Of course, a lot of people just checked out completely and go, oh, here's this new AI song. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Go buy a ticket to their concert, see what you get. The AI song. The idea that gig costs £400 and you go once a year to see to see Olivia Rodrigo in an arena show. Again, there's a place for that. But people should know there's a venue 5 minutes away where you can pay a tenner, which again is a £10 note, which is probably $15 in America or something. See a band who sweat on you and then talk to them afterwards. How did you make friends? I can vouch for that. That's some of the best shows I've seen. I've been in bars. Like in Seattle, I saw some pretty good shows. Just dive bar in Seattle. It's like, wow, this band isn't famous. Why are they not famous? That kind of shit. During lockdown, with venues shuttered and no income coming in, Turner streamed weekly shows from his living room to raise money for struggling venues. It kept me sane, made me feel useful, it telegraphed my values. These are the things I care about. The money raised helped keep 26 venues afloat, each receiving around £15,000. Some of the venues later told me it kept the wolf from my door and it covered us for a couple of months. That mattered. He credits the MVT, founded and headed by Mark David, with a Y, not an I, David with a Y, which raising awareness of the crisis. While he welcomes the Labour government's greater recognitions of the challenge, Turner remains conflicted over government interference. My experience was that the independent live music sector was proudly subsidized, which I thought was cool. If you're making anti-establishment art, it doesn't make sense to do it with government grant. Yeah, it does. It makes a lot of freaking sense. Give me the money. I don't have any. Take it. You know, here's the problem with not taking government money. Billionaires do it. Do you think they need that money? They don't. I'm just saying. Stop tainting government money as if there's something wrong with it. Oh no, the government gave it to me. Yeah, they gave it to you instead of a rich guy. Deal with it. I'm just sorry. If the government's doing anything for you, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Say thank you very much. Maybe you can give us more next time. That's what I would say. But he's frustrated at where public money in the arts does go. It's a national scandal. Millions that get, again, you give them to the opera. They spend 10% on grass. If it spent 10% of the opera money, he's right about that. It's like, oh, we need more opera. Oh, yeah, because the opera tickets. Yeah, everybody wants to go to the opera. No. Name me somebody under 25 that wants to go to the opera. Go ahead. Anyone. Unless you're a freaking opera nerd, you're just like, what the hell are they singing about? For Turner, these small venues from a hidden backbone of the arts world, overlooked yet vital. They are a springboard for generations of musicians, but without them, the pipeline breaks. I'll keep fighting for them, he says, because they're not just where music lives or where community lives, and without them, we all lose. There's your story on positive.news. And let's have us association, was it? It's been like 10 minutes since you spent a will.
I associate 20, right? This with never trust rich people. That's
yeah, it's like never, we have money for the arts,
don't
only for
ever
opera.
Take advice from rich people because they're always keeping something from you. And
right.
Don't follow their rules because they're not following any rules.
Yes, and if you want to change the government in England, I guess you got to run for the House of Commons or something.
I guess so.
I think the House of Lords, you got to shit gold to get in there. But the House of Commons you can run for. If you don't shit gold. That's it. That's the whole entire segment.
Woohoo, we got it. Okay. Let's roll our segue for my culture news. We are going to be celebrating 250 years of Jane Austen.
Woo!
And some people in France decided to have a cool little get-together. Let me re-roll you because we got alliteration headline, which you've already done that today. Hypothetical.
Hypo.
What would you do if you were in a Jane Austen film? There's a good hypothetical question for you. Think on that.
Like Pride and Prejudice, I know that one.
Yep, Pride and Prejudice. There's also Little Women. Little Women is also a Jane Austen one. Yeah.
No, it isn't. Louisa May Alcott
wrote that. Okay, our story is coming off of...
Excuse me. Louisa May Alcott wrote Little Women.
Oh, okay.
Not Jane Austen. Okay, sorry. Just didn't want you
this
to go on the road.
This story is coming off of Euronews Culture by Sarah Mansoni and Christina Colleen. Fans of English novelist Jane Austen are celebrating her birth 250 years ago on the 16th of December, 1775. Nowadays, she's a pop culture phenomenon, and with Austen mania spreading, French Jeanettes have been gathering for a Regency-themed ball to reenact dancing scenes from her beloved books. A group of ladies and a few gentlemen in Regency-era formal wear stand in two lines facing each other. They perform bows and curtsies before engaging in precise choreography. The hushed noise of dresses and ballet shoes on the floor stands out faintly over a classical air of pianoforte, strings, and flute. One would almost expect Pride and Prejudice characters Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy to join the party. This is not an assembly room in an early 19th century Bath, but a Parisian community center in 25. Some 50 people gathered in the French capital last weekend for a fancy dress ball in honor of the late English writer Jane Austen. The event was organized by dance teacher Cecile Lay, who specializes in English country dances with her company Chestnut. But they're French, but they specialize in English country dances. I have been dancing for 5 years now, performing various historical dance styles. What I enjoy about Regency-era dances is that I feel as though I'm reliving a scene from one of Jane Austen's novels, said 47-year-old participant Virginie Lucy. The ball came ahead of the 250th anniversary of Austen's birth today, the 16th of December. Over the centuries, the pioneering novelist has become a pop culture phenomenon and has gained a community of dedicated fans in the UK and beyond. Some of these Jeanettes, mostly women, have found a way to express their love for the famous author through historical dancing. Jane Austen loved to dance. At the time, dancing was a skill that well-born people and everyone else for that matter needed to have, Cecile Lay told Euronews Culture. She loved dancing so much that all of her novels include very long dance sequences with dialogue that really moves the plot forward. Balls in Regency costumes are now well established in Austen's native England, but the phenomenon has gained particular renaissance, you could say, and not resonance, but renaissance in France during this anniversary year. Events like the Chestnut Ball allow Austen fans to immerse themselves in her world and to adopt codes of the late 18th century English gentry. As the choreography takes a shape on floor, the demeanor of the chestnut dancers changes. They adjust their posture, offer gracious smiles and polite tilts of head to their partners, as if bewitched by the spirits of Emma Woodhouse and Anne Elliot. After being dragged along in a dance, the performing turns and twirls does make one feel particularly ladylike. Wearing a high-waisted dress or a tailcoat only helps with the feeling. Dancing in costume really allows you to perform the movements as if you were a woman of the Regency era, with all its restrictions and advantages, 42-year-old Vanessa Bertho told Euronews Culture, while waiting for a time to dance. This primary school teacher and Sense and Sensibility devotee purchased her long blue dress at the Jane Austen Festival, with gathers Janites from around the world each September in the southwestern English city of Bath. Some fans even use the thread and needle themselves, like Virginia Usi, who sported her hand-sewn purple Empire-style garment for the Chestnut Ball. I based my design on a period of illustration. I had the fabric, so I worked from historical pattern, trying to reproduce the reference, she explained. Wearing a costume makes you feel more like you're traveling back in time for the duration of the weekend, she added. The structure of Cecile Lay's ball also mirrors the formality of the Regency events, where respecting social norms took priority over enjoying oneself. At the time, the participants were invited to regularly change partners, as dancing more than twice with the same person signaled marital commitment. Uh-oh, did you see how they danced together twice? They're getting married. Oh. It really was the moment when matters of marriage were being dealt with, said Lay. Jane Austen herself never married and remained committed to both her family and her craft. She burst onto the literary scene in 1811 with her first anonymously published book, Sense and Sensibility. She went on to complete 6 novels, all of which had become beloved classics. It's like with comfort movies. Jane Austen's world is safe and comforting, said Claire Saim, who co-wrote the book Jane Austen Visual Encyclopedia. She found her own literary voice, which is still understandable today. But it was in 1995, the BBC adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, that truly marked the beginning of Austen mania as we know it, and journalist Constance Jamet writes in a manifesto, Austen Power. The TV series famously featured Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy, emerging out of a pond in a wet shirt, and every woman's sexual desires inflamed. I even know that scene. About 11 people watched the original UK broadcast. Austen-inspired dance groups emerged soon after. People really love the feeling of connecting to what they've seen in the film, said Charlotte Cooper from the UK-based Jane Austen Dancers of Bath. They watched the adaptation and I think, I want to dance like that. In the past 30 years, Jane Austen has become an object of pop culture. Her work has been adapted many times for the screen, sometimes very loosely, from 1995 teen movie Clueless to Bridget Jones' Saga or the 2016 Pride and Prejudice and Zombie. In 2020, the release of Netflix series Bridgerton spurred renewal for appeal for Austen's Regency era. The author is also a social media favorite. The hashtag Jane Austen has hundreds of millions of views on TikTok, with users sharing book reviews, video edits from their favorite films or scenes, or even memes. You don't have to get into Jane Austen through academia by doing an English degree or a PhD about her. No, you can enter her world through Bridgerton, said Claire Saim. Participants in Regency balls also reflect this diversity. We've got some number who probably haven't even read one of her books, said Charlotte Cooper. I came through a love of Jane Austen. We have people who come through the historical dance route. A lot of people come through costume. Some people just want to find a hobby, and this is what they stumbled across that looks like fun, she went on. France is only recently catching up with Austen mania. A classic Professor Marie Ali Hediard explained in Austen Power. The novelist's reputation on the side of the channel suffered from early translation that diminished the complexity of her work in favor of enhancing romance plots. So in French, there was more drama than there was the literature. But the tide is starting to turn. With French fans working to build a structured community, Claire Saim co-created the Jane Austen Society in France in April. Regency balls are spreading throughout the country, to great success. Back in Paris, the Chestnut Ball concluded. Participants were already looking forward to their next Regency event. Jane Austen might be 250-year-old today, but her readers' love for her world and her characters is as vibrant as ever. So congratulations, 250 years of being relevant. Like maybe she wasn't relevant for 200 years or something, but let's just say she's still relevant today, and that's something to celebrate, because I bet if you asked her ghost, she would not be. She would be so surprised that people are still reading and enjoying her novels so far in the future.
Yeah. Of course, the association I have are hypothetical. We have a hypothetical author named Jane Austen, who's spelled Jayn and Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an AI author. And instead of using these alliteration titles like Pride and Prejudice, they wrote different books called Pride and Sensibility. Instead of Pride, because she liked these alliteration titles, right? Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility. So here's the new titles, hypothetically titles: Pride and Sensibility, Sense and Prejudice, Pride and Sense, or if you prefer, Sense and Pride, and of course, Prejudice and Sensibility. There's your new books by our new AI author, Jane with a Y, Austen with an I. I can't wait to read Pride and Sense in the sequel, Sense and Pride.
I mean, one could argue that the problem with the world today is too much pride, not enough sensibility.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nobody has any sensibilities anymore.
The wordplay. Right. Let's have us the National Day calendar.
Okay, let's do our final This Day in History for today's
Not our final one, hopefully.
Newsday.
Prediction. Today's December 16th. What happened on December 16th?
And I'm going to have some sarcasm for you.
About 2 weeks left in the year, and it's cold. Snowing in a lot of places. Snow melted last. You got above
I don't know
freezing.
if you noticed, I changed the background, so it's snowing behind you at some sort of rail crossing in Maryland somewhere, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they put a railroad tracks in behind our house in the middle of the night when we weren't paying attention.
Yeah. I thought it looked cool.
This day and age. Yeah, it's nice. It's cool. I mean, really. I mean, if you're tired of it, you're tired of it. 1882, Marinus the First became Pope after the death and possibly the murder of John the Eighth. Possibly murdered. I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say probably, right? Because it ain't like anybody's looking for the killer anymore. 1631, more than 3,000 people were killed by a major eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Not the famous Pompeii that buried everybody, but a more recent one, 1631. Or was it?
Maybe.
When was the original Pompeii burying? Was that in 1631 or was it earlier? I think it was much earlier, during Roman times, right? You can look that up for me. In 1653, Oliver Cromwell became Lord Protector of England, Scotland, and Ireland. He said, I'm the Lord Protector. Oh, aren't you a fancy guy? Oh, fancy old Oliver Cromwell. Where England did not have a king or a queen or anything for that period of time because he decided Charles II was not good or whatever. And there you go, Oliver Cromwell. 1889, English playwright and actor Noel Coward, and N-O-E with, what are those two little lines called? Not an umlaut. What's that called? Is that called an umlaut? Mm-hmm. Noel Coward, best known for his polished comedies and manners, was born. Fancy Broadway plays. 1944, during the World War II, German forces attempted to push through the Allied lines in Ardennes, beginning the Battle of the Bulge. Yeah, that was very, very bad. That's right. There was a bulge in the line. Oh, shit. 1995, Paul Castellano, who is reportedly the boss of bosses, was Fatally shot. He was a boss of bosses, and Mafia's 5 families, was fatally shot in New York City. John Gotti was later convicted of arranging the murder. John Gotti more famous than the guy he killed. Paul Castellano, the boss of bosses, and apparently just killing our really bad criminals against the law. So happy death day to that criminal. 2009, Avatar, a science fiction thriller directed by James Cameron, was released internationally. Avatar. Did you watch that? I thought it was Ferngully. I thought it was the same movie. I went on to make more than $2.7 billion worldwide and spawn a film franchise. I still haven't watched it. At least not the whole movie. 2014, members of the Pakistani Taliban carried out a terrorist attack on a school in Peshawar, killing 150 people. At least 134 were students, which... Oh yeah, we ought to be in charge of everything, so we're going to kill children. Fuck you, assholes. 1773, the Boston Tea Party. On this day in 1773, a group of men dressed in mohawk headdresses and cheered by a crowd of thousands threw a tea belonging to the British East India Company, into Boston Harbor, the Harby, as they call it Boston sometimes when they're drunk. Let's go to the Harby. Anyway, Boston Harbor, Britain's punitive response to the Boston Tea Party, which was a protest against taxes, particularly tariffs, helped push American colonists closer to war. That's right. You're going to pay a tariff on all the stuff we sell you, but we're going to take your shit for free and never pay you nothing. Yeah, we hated the British, and there was a real good reason to hate them. Jane Austen's birthday today, as we already talked about extensively. He was born December 16th, 1775 in Steventon, England. She died at the age of 41, way too young. July 18th, 1817 in Winchester, England. And so it's a sad day that she died. She only got to be 41. I imagine it's the England that Charles Dickens depicted in all of his novels, right? The dirty, disgusting, disease-ridden London or whatever, or England or wherever the hell Winchester is. Can't be that far from London, right? In 1975, that's her other birthdays today, Wasily Kandinsky. We're bringing up Jane Austen 3 times, so she's also on this list. Noel Coward, we did. Arthur
today, and so yeah.
Right. Also Noel Coward. I mean, 1899, we already did that one. 1917, Arthur C. Clarke was born, British author and scientist, wrote a lot of great science fiction novels. 1928, Philip K. Dick, American author, and he was a dick. He legitimately was a dick. That was his last name. So happy birthday to him, American author. He'd be 97 today, if he's around. I'm not sure he is. National days today. It is something called, and I brought this up earlier, which I don't understand, which is stupid. And I don't want to do this on News Day. It's called Barbie and Barney Backlash Day. And I ain't going to cover that because seriously, this is Good Tuesday News Day. And we don't need a bunch of that negative garbage on our channel. And it's National Covered Everything Day. So it's only one thing today. You can take that Barbie backlash and stop ridiculing children for having toys, please. Grown-ups, stop acting like your children are going to be you. They're not little mini versions of you. In fact, you're a good parent. You want them to be better than you. Otherwise, the entire human race takes a step backwards. Unfortunately, we've lost sight of that in this country. We just want to make children be ashamed of who they are. That's our new thing in America. Anyway, those are your things. National Covered Day, your mispronunciation, your haikus, your limerick. No haikus? Oh, okay. Limericks, mispronunciations, and everything else for December 16th, 2024, or 2025, and it was the same thing last year anyway. December 16th, 2025, on Before Covering Everything on Chocolate. And make sure you don't get it on your keyboard. Everything but your keyboard. Everything but your keyboard in your mouth.
I'm so happy, actually, that I was able to cover my entire keyboard in chocolate. So nice. It's really tasty now. And makes me really happy.
Just get a keyboard made of chocolate.
There's actually, you know, what does this remind? I know this is, I'm supposed to be sarcastic, but it reminds me of this
Right.
Is it cake? But they also started doing is it chocolate too. Right? So you make cake, very realistic looking cake, and you don't know it's cake, like a shoe. And then they started doing it with chocolate too. They started making stuff out of chocolate and stuff as well. So
oh, that prize that Trump got the other day from FIFA, it just had a chocolate. It was actually made out of chocolate? A chocolate center, a gold outside foil, right? Gold covered outside foil, and if you break it open, a big chunk of chocolate in there, and he just, ooh, chocolate! This has got chocolate center.
Since he is the brain of a child, he was probably incredibly enamored by that.
Yeah, if you've seen that orange moron brown thing around his mouth from eating all that chocolate. It wasn't from licking Putin's butthole. It wasn't from licking Putin's butthole. It was from eating chocolate. Excuse me for my language. There's your...
That's great.
My attempt at humor today. I will laugh at myself. Ha 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 ha.
Okay, let me check my international observances. Are there any today? There aren't any today. So this has been Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the US, as we hopefully have made you feel hope in humanity today on Good Tues News Day. We will be back tomorrow, because we're here every weekday, for Wacky and Weird Wednesday, in which we will be talking about all the weird stuff that's going on, so we can have our childlike endearment and imagination re-inspired by the weird things that animals, people, and our society get into. So make sure you're following on Twitch, subscribed on YouTube, on the Before Coffee podcast channel. We appreciate all of our people who are following and subscribed to us. And if you would like to give us more monetary support, you can check out our Patreon, where we post before and after streams of whatever this show is. Let's go to our mic drop moment.
Is that the way you're going to talk to your grandson?
No, another great
I ain't going to hurt his little feelings.
Moment
of course,
here.
This is only in here because they both almost cracked. They both almost cracked, right?
I hate people that are always calling other people names. Now, your Irish mix.
Irish mix.
Your Irish mix are very big on that, with all their jokes, see? And the Mafia. Now, the Mafia, they're the ones that started the Pollock shows to take the heat off of the Dago. So I don't want no more of your racial jokes around here, because I can't stand people who are always...
There's a lot of improvisation on this show, and that's the...
Right, he looks down instead of breaking, right?
What's the matter, my fly open?
Well, he's trying to make fun of him, like, are you breaking? Are you breaking?
Both of them are, right? Look at Carol O'Connor. He smiles when they show back. He looks away. Right there, like, you can't almost break it. Almost.
He's like, come on, dude, laugh. Come on, dude, laugh. You can see him.
Stand being with this guy alone. Come on down. What are you doing up there?
Down in
a minute. That's a short. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels: Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Record.